just talking about shock of all shocks, the debate and everything. We had just brought it up that what's been most interesting is the fact that we all seem a little bit more energetic afterward. And I love watching the right-wing reactions after this. Like, what have you seen from this, Paul, so far with the right-wingers?
As everything with them, it's heads they win, tails you lose. It's the same. I mean, it was rigged before it started. Therefore, they have their out. And it's funny, that she was getting fed all the information, which seems to indicate that they think that he lost, but they're saying that he won. And now he won't do another debate with her, even though he says that he won. Like, it's all just so convoluted and, well, typical. Yeah. And they're very mad. They're very, very, very mad.
You can tell that they know they lost and they don't want to admit it because they sound exactly like the Biden defenders sounded after the Biden debate. Like, they're saying the same sort of things. And I've just been noticing it. I've just been like, yeah, no, it's the same exact thing. They're blaming them on anytime someone's blaming the refs. Like, if you're a sports fan, you know this.
Oh yeah.
When your opponent is blaming the refs, they know they're losing. Yeah. Like, this is exactly what you know, and that's exactly what happened. And we'll get to talk about whether they were biased or not. They clearly weren't. But the reaction of just blame the refs. Oh, she got the answers beforehand. Oh, like, that was one of my favorites. Like, oh, Kamala must have gotten the answers the questions beforehand, which is like, A, just admitting that she's kicking ass, and B, they're the easiest questions that a toddler could have seen coming. Usually they even like pepper in one kitchen sink question that no one saw coming just for the sake of novelty. They asked every single standard question: abortion, the economy, immigration, foreign wars. Like, anyone could have seen this coming. TJ, you are definitely muted. So
I said January 6th may have been like, and that's not even a wild card. I mean, it's like Trump hasn't spent the last 4 years talking about January 6th, which the question he flubbed worse than any other. Like, in a long series of F-ups, that was absolutely the worst. Well, not the worst one. The worst one was the dog one, obviously. We'll get to that. But it is funny. I love that thing that the right wings are saying too, John. It's like, oh, they must have fed Kamala Harris the question. How could she ever have predicted what is your stance on immigration? I mean, well, come on. It's like, it's been pretty embarrassing. But I do love watching the right-wing reaction. And if you guys will permit me, I would like to share my favorite one. And do you guys know who Stephen Miller is by any chance? Yeah. So
unfortunately,
I know, right? For anyone unfamiliar with Stephen Miller is by far the most ghoulish member of the Trump crew. Like, he seems like a person pretending to be a man, just like a creepy, just the way he's always so stiff and the way his mouth always moves like this. It's very odd. It's like uncanny valley levels of strangeness with this guy.
He's the closest a human being has ever come to like both physically and just symbolically representing a snake. Like, that is, he looks and acts like a snake.
That's a great way to put it.
He's just got that punchable face. He just looks like it just.
Yeah. He's like if the biggest nerd in your school was a vile racist asshole. That's what Stephen Miller kind of looks like to me.
Yeah.
All right. So they were asking him his thoughts about the debate. And this is in particular about the Venezuelan immigration. So people are saying that Venezuelan gangs are taking over the United States. And he's questioned about this. Let's see what he has to say.
What will happen? All these criminal migrants that have been flooded in the country are going to be the first to get thrown out of here. I mean, you've seen case after case, these heartbreaking tragedies. Those ones are going to get found and deported first. And look at this Venezuelan gang. You have a Venezuelan gang that is taking over entire apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado, and that's responsible, by the way, for some of the most heinous crimes that have happened all over the United States. The crime rate in Venezuela is down, I believe, a little bit over 60% over the last several years.
Are you trusting the official figures from the Venezuelan dictatorship?
Let's put it this way. If you're a dictator of a poor country with a high crime rate, wouldn't you send your criminals to our open border?
That wasn't my question. Are you trusting the figures of the dictatorships? Those are Maduro numbers.
I am believing that it is in the interest of a criminal dictator to let his criminals out of their jails and come to our country.
Do you have numbers, real numbers, not
I have
dictatorship numbers?
The Venezuelan gangs that have you've seen the CCTV footage. I have a question. Who do you think? Answer me
My
this.
family is from Venezuela.
Yes.
I know very well the situation of Caracas and many other
Right,
cities.
and tell me, who were the people with the high-powered rifles in the hallway of that apartment building? Who were they?
They were gangsters from Venezuela.
Right. No American community.
But I was asking to you about figures, numbers,
What I'm saying
facts.
to you is the facts are the dead bodies. The facts are
You said that Caracas has a
facts are-
lowest crime
the
rate
facts
than the
are-
USA.
the facts are the mutilated bodies. The facts are the people in the morgues that are dead.
I was asking you about Caracas and the numbers in Caracas. Are you trusting the numbers of the dictatorship?
I am
to state
trusting
what
the fact that Kamala Harris is
Why are you
letting
yelling?
illegal immigrants into this country who are raping and murdering children.
I had been very
Do you
respectful.
know-
Why are
do
you yelling?
Do you know who?
So, as you can see, we're taking it quite well. Stephen Miller is taking this quite well. The loss of Donald Trump is not weighing heavy on his mind at all. I mean, I do love that question the reporter asked him when he's like, well, Venezuela's crime, it's way down. Okay, so the source of that is Nicolas Maduro, like the evil dictator who you said that we shouldn't believe about anything. Why would you believe that his crime is down? Then just deflection, then immediate rage at this guy, because this is just something that, you begin to notice when you watch American news media versus pretty much any other country's news media, is that the idea of an antagonistic press or a contentious press is kind of lost in the United States. News reporters will actually make you answer the question and grill you on it. Stephen Miller wasn't ready for that. Paul, I'll throw it to you. What do you think from that interaction there?
One thing that I love seeing is that there was no other news organizations other than the Epoch Times, which is an extremely insane
Jesus
far-right
Christ.
news. And so he probably had thought it was all going to be softballs from people that are on his side. And then he gets this one person like, hey, I'm from Venezuela. You're full of shit. He's like, wait, huh? Because they surround themselves with yes men and people that will kiss their ass. And when they're pushed a little bit, they show what cowards they are, how weak their belief systems are. And they do what a bully does. They scream and yell, hoping that intimidates you and run away. And it's not working anymore. It's not working. And they don't know what to do.
That is an excellent. They don't know what to do because the playbook in America ever since 2016. I mean, it's this specific thing with reporters not holding politicians accountable for what they say. That's always been the case. But since 2016, with Trump specifically, what he broke is that he just gamed that system, and he's like the press is so scared of appearing biased that they're going to try and play both sides equally, no matter how crazy I make it get. And that is the exploit in the game that Donald Trump has been using for the past 8 years.
It's very true.
And so you see that there. As soon as someone in his crew was confronted and goddamn confronted by a minority.
Oh my God.
They just start just rage quitting. Like that's it. They're like, how dare you actually repeat this question? I already made it clear I wasn't going to answer it. And that's exactly the rage there. And it's the same thing that we're seeing all across the Republican sphere. We're seeing people complain about the moderators. But I've noticed that not a single complaint actually is like, oh no, breakdown point by point. Kamala Harris lied more than Donald Trump and therefore should have had more fact checks. It's just, there were more fact checks for Donald Trump.
And then the way they turned that fact check, that's one thing that really annoys me is the pedantic nature of the fact check, because they will somehow try to equate saying a number wrong with making up a complete story that isn't real, as if they have the same amount of wrongness to them, and they do not. They did it with Biden too, but with Trump, because of his insanity in comparison to, well, that number was a little bit too high for what was really true. Like, oh no, but was the overall subject matter true? Oh yeah, no, that's all right. But it was like she rounded up from 46% to 50%. I think that's one thing that they picked on. But Donald Trump made up completely whole cloth, absolute things that aren't happening, whether it's after birth abortions, migrants eating pets. It's just it whitewashed. It gives excuse to the right wing to be like, well, they're all lying. both sides do it. So like, well, there's a big difference.
Yeah. Like you can always tell when someone's a right winger whenever they throw out I think both sides are bad. Whenever you just bring up an obvious, like cartoonishly villainous action by the Republican Party.
That was one of the responses I kept seeing is America lost this debate.
Yep.
He's like, no, that's exactly what the Democrats were saying after the last one. And that's how you fucking know they lost.
Yep. Yeah. And John, you're right. It has been interesting seeing the honest Republicans from the delusional / willfully ignorant ones, because the same thing happened with us when we saw the Biden debate in real time here on the left wing, and we said that was a shit show, that was terrible. I was shocked to see how many people were like, no, actually Biden won that debate. I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, what planet are you on? This is happening with
TJ, I made a post yesterday literally saying all of the Democrats who were saying Biden won the debate sound exactly like Republicans do now. And people were saying, no one said that. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's like mass hypnosis.
Yeah, like, they did. Biden did a master class. Oh, come on, stop it. And I know it was insanity. But so it was interesting. There was a guy named Eric Erickson. Now I only know about Eric Erickson because he was popular with like Christian fundamentalists back in the day. I remember that name from back in those dark times. But I saw him. He tweeted this amazing post where it said that, you morons, you guys shared that stupid cat story and you made Trump pick it up. Now he's going to be talking about it for the next few days. It's going to dominate the news cycle. It's like, what do you mean? Like, that just means Trump's an idiot. You can't blame like the regular people for spreading bullshit. And you can for spreading bullshit. That's bad. But the fact that Trump brought it up in the debate is his fault and no one else's. That's just, go ahead, Paul.
And the fact that the moderators were already prepared to debunk it because they knew he wouldn't be able to stay away from it. It had to do with immigration.
Yeah, I think John brought that up last time, is that they had ready-made. It's like they didn't have to check shit. They already knew the stuff.
They reached out to the town's
manager.
Yeah. And all of the right wings like, well, they were prepared. I'm like, because Donald Trump is a dumb stump who doesn't say anything different ever. Listen to I put myself through the torture of watching his rallies to edit that down to make him look like the idiot he is. But he says the same thing every single time. It's not rocket science to figure out what he's going to talk about to be prepared to debunk it.
Well, Paul, you say that, but I remember when Biden lost, I heard many people say that, look, it's not possible to defeat Donald Trump in a debate because he just rattles off and lies all the time. And
they said that with Hillary, too.
It could possibly beat him in a debate. And it's like, yeah, but Hillary Clinton beat him in debates. Biden beat him in debates. And so, I hate that people have given Trump this. Now, and look, that's true for the Republican Party. Like Donald Trump would never, ever lose a debate in the Republican Party, primarily because he's rich. And if you're the richest Republican on the stage, you're going to get the votes. That's just going to happen. And he's the only entertaining Republican that's ever been born. So, he's going to steamroll through that. And the voting base for the Republican primaries are just like the most incredulous conspiratorial rubes imaginable. Of course, he's going to get those votes. But once you submit yourself to the actual general population, that shit's not going to work. No. I wanted to pull this up real quick. And this is I think we all agree that this is like the moment that Kamala Harris won the debate right here. And you guys, I'm pretty sure, are going to know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I was going to.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to see what you're going to say. I want to see what you're going to show.
Oh, here we go.
No problem. And I'll tell you something. He's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual. And I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. And I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you. You will not hear him talk about your needs, your dreams, and your desires. And I'll tell you, I believe you deserve a president who actually puts you first. And I pledge to you that I will.
Vice President Harris, thank you. President Trump, on that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the
Please.
rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics. That's because people want to take their country back. Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation. And it happened 3.5 years ago. And what's going on here, you're going to end up in World War III, just to go into another subject. What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And
it's just as funny every time I watch it. But so, Paul, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think that the moment she won the debate was the second she poked Trump with the rally size and the board. Because is that what you thought? Or
yeah, I mean, she controlled the stage the second she went on it and invaded his space on purpose and forced him to shake her hand. She had him dead then. Like, he was a coward from there on after. Didn't look at her in the eye once. Never said her name once.
That's
and
true.
she had him.
I never noticed that. Yeah, he didn't say her name.
He did not look across at all. You're right.
I did notice that. So I did
never
notice.
Looked at her. Never said her name.
So I think the not looking at her was actually like
intentional.
Intentional, but for his benefit, because you notice this, like when they would tell him when he debated Hillary Clinton, when you have a man debating a woman, you can't try to look intimidating. That's always the message. Like when they're like Sarah Palin and Hillary Clinton, that you don't want to do that because you come off looking poorly. And so I think he did that to try to benefit himself, but he ended up throwing it all away because he tried using the old reversing Kamala Harris's "I'm speaking" line, which does not work when it's a man saying it to a woman. It's like, no, man, like read the room. But John, what did you think? Do you agree that that's the moment that she won when she started flipping the rally thing on him?
So I think so. When we watched this, and we commented on this live, but I remember us talking about it was masterful how she did the immigration thing. How she was like, and he's going to slip in immigration into every point. Even though it's not, and then she went into the crowd size thing, and it's so funny because the moderator starts asking Trump a question, and Trump's like, "No, can I respond?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, that's how this works, Don. Yeah, I'm going to ask you the question now, and you can respond." And he's like, "No, I don't want to answer your question. I want to take the bait." He was like, every fucking, and this is the thing about the Republicans, like they knew when Kamala Harris said that, anyone with an ounce of intelligence was like, shit, this is bait for Donald Trump. I hope he's going to answer this responsibly. And Don could not wait to just eat that bait up. And not only did he eat the bait up, but then he immediately did the thing that she just predicted he would do and started talking about immigration. And that was probably the best outcome. When Kamala's team was writing that obvious setup and bait, they were like, hopefully he responds about the crowd size. And hopefully that's the first thing he says. And the first thing he said, crowd size. Yeah. And they knew he would bring up immigration, but he did it in that moment. And then not only that, he went immediately into the eating cats and dogs. It could not have gone better for Kamala in that moment. And he just hook, line, sinker, dead.
Absolutely. Look at the smile on her face. Look at that fucking smile, man. It's like, you're right. Because going into the debate, Trump, they said that Trump was debating training up with Tulsi Gabbard, because Tulsi Gabbard had some good moments against Harris back when they ran against each other in 2020, and fat lot of good that did. I was like, who gives? Donald Trump is going to be Donald Trump. You're not gonna have this. He's not gonna change his stripes anytime soon. And of course he's gonna. And the only thing was like how badly he would fall for the bait and how badly he'd go with it. And during the Biden debate, we pointed out that every response he made brought up immigration. Didn't matter what it was. He would bring up immigration. So it was really smart of Harris to say, I'm just going to head him off in the pass here. I'm going to be like, Let me be like B Rabbit at 8 Mile.
That's
and say,
exactly
hey,
what I was
this
thinking,
is-
TJ.
this is
You
what you're-
stole that.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. And let's see. Let me see if I can if we get anything else from here. But oh god, the eating the dogs. Oh, hold on, we gotta eating the dogs, eating the cats. So I think I'll play a little bit more from that. But when he said that, like we were all thinking, is he gonna do this? Is he that fucking stupid? We were in tears, Paul. We were laughing so fucking hard during the debate when he said that and it's not just that he said it, it's how he said it. He said it like the way an insane person would say, they are eating the dogs. And it's just like, whoa, buddy, what's going on?
The rainbows are shooting blood babies at us. Like he just lost his mind. Like, okay, man.
TJ, I want to circle back to the cats and dogs thing because I want us to do a whole segment on that story because that story is wild.
Okay,
beyond just.
And I'm in Ohio. I know how.
Oh, are you? Okay, all right, cool. All right, so we can't get to that one.
I also wanted to mention, like for like the debate segment of that, is that when he was pressed on it, and they were like, "Yeah, we talked to the city council, like this didn't happen," and he said. It probably the low-key funniest moment. It's going to get overshadowed. But when he was like, but I saw a guy on TV. And it was just like, you saw the monkey spinning in the wheel in his head. He's just like, yeah, no, this has always worked for me. I see a guy say it on TV. It's true. I say it again. No one checks me. What the fuck you talking about? I saw it on TV. Therefore, it is real. He genuinely believes that in his heart of hearts, that this is a real thing. Donald Trump doesn't know that it's fake. He doesn't think this is misinformation. And that's why Eric Erickson's tweet was so real because they know they're dealing with a toddler. Yeah. They know how to manipulate him. They know exactly how to do it. And they know he can be manipulated. And they're just upset the Democrats finally figured the fuck out. It's not that hard. And we've been saying this for years, DJ.
No, it isn't. I plan to do a video about that line because that's my favorite line too of the time when he said, but I saw it on TV because I feel like I've had this conversation with like Facebook boomers 1,000 times. It's like, no, that's not the reason this is happening. This is the reason. And here are the sources for it. Here are, certified experts in the field that you can look up who have talked about it. It's like, well, I saw it on Newsmax. I saw it on Fox. I heard it on, 1066 radio or whatever, freedomeagle.net. It's like, that's it. That's all that they need for something to be true. And it's kind of like this ancient, primitive way of thinking. And I remember learning in school about a time when like books were still fairly new and literacy rates were low. And people didn't trust the information that they saw in books because they didn't know the author. Like they could learn about the author. And they said that people were way more likely just to believe like, oh, well, Mike said it and I know Mike. So Mike could have made it up. They don't care. But it's the fact that they knew something about the person. They were way more likely to believe that than they were to have like a research, manual from someone who was an expert. And like a lot of folks are still in that primitive mindset. Like they can't think abstractly from their own experience. It's kind of weird. I wanted to show this one here. This is... Let's see. I think this is
so many things going through my brain right now.
Oh, go ahead. You got something to add there?
So,
we're gonna move on.
The one thing that talking about a toddler, he's a toddler. Yeah. So many times, her face looking at him was that of like a elementary school teacher looking at a child who can't figure out how to solve the one-piece puzzle. Just has one piece in it. They don't know how to solve it, and she's like, "Oh, poor sweetie." No, like the way she looked at him so many times like that. Oh. You poor dumb deer. It was brilliant.
Yes.
Did you notice, like he says it really quickly and it's abhorrent that I think a lot of people missed when he was talking about how he wasn't sure that she was black. He said, I had read it somewhere that she wasn't black and that she put out. He threw that in and then went right on by it.
I heard him say that, Paul. I'm actually willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that he was saying
she wrote
that out there, that she like, because it doesn't, as much as Donald Trump doesn't make sense in any stretch of the definition, it really didn't make sense to put that into that sentence.
I just couldn't tell if he was comma-ing things or not.
Yeah. I think he meant she put that out there, but it is.
I think so too, but I also hate giving him any benefit of that because that's us ascribing him intelligence that I don't know that he has. Like that's the problem with a lot of the media. They will ascribe meaning to the insane things that he says, like with Hannibal Lecter. They're like, oh, it's because he's stupid. He doesn't know the difference between asylum, but they will do that, give him benefits of the doubt. And I'm like, I'm tired of doing that for the guy. He's a piece of shit. Not smart.
I didn't catch that about the put out thing. I don't remember hearing that. I have to listen to it.
Out, which, yes, I immediately said, oh, he's probably to say that she wrote it. But I'm also like, but he's going to mention the eating the pets thing. And that's something that was put out there online constantly. That the only reason she got that job was because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he is that online that he has that in his brain.
If anyone would do it, it would be him. I wanted to
sorry to derail.
No, that's all right. Real quick, now that John, when you mentioned, or you guys both mentioned how he said I saw it on TV. Yeah, I saw another example of that. That was back when he first ran, and he was upset about the Iran nuclear deal. And he kept saying this over and over again. He says, and I saw they gave Iran, hundreds of millions of dollars. They had pallets full of cash. He would repeat cash 2 or 3 times and push on a plane. That never happened. There was never any cash given to Iran. And he said, I saw it on TV. He would say that all the time. And for anyone wondering, because the Iran nuclear deal did have financial incentives for Iran for hundreds of millions of dollars, but it was just unfreezing assets that we froze from Iran back in 1979, saying that if you play ball with us, we'll give you this money back. That's all it was. And they played ball, so we gave them, we unfroze their assets. It had nothing to do with taxpayers paying the Iranians. But all right, I wanted to go to the abortion one because I don't know if they have her actual abortion speech, because her abortion speech was a home run against Trump. It was pristine. It was fantastic.
It was her most passionate response.
Yeah, on the most important topic. And so I thought that was a good job by her. And I think this one, this is it. Let me see if I got the right one here.
That's definitely the cats and dogs smile.
Yeah.
Say what?
That's
poor
definitely
dumb
the cats
babies.
and dogs smile.
Just looking at him like, oh, you.
Sorry.
It was funny. It was funny when because I thought the same thing. I was like, she's looking at him like she's realizing, oh no, I was kind of worried that he might come out and be better, but no, this is the child I prepared for. This is.
So while I'm thinking of it, if there's any people on the right watching this right now,
there are. Trust me.
I want you to think about. I want you to think about this. If Donald Trump was so easily derailed by someone that you think is unintelligent, as you keep calling Kamala, how do you think he fares against someone like Putin or Kim Jong-un or these other people who I bet in your mind you think are way smarter than Kamala? How do you think they are able to manipulate him? He wouldn't even look her in the eye. He wouldn't even say her name. He wouldn't even shake her hand. He was intimidated by her. How do you think he's going to do against these people that he praises all the time?
It's a great point, Paul. All right, guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. You genuinely have no idea how much that helped the algorithm. And if you're here right now, I'm sure you were here for our live stream of the presidential debate, which you probably just heard us talking about. Definitely be here for the next one if it happens, if Donald Trump is not a fucking chicken. Now, if you want more excellent content like this and you loved our guests, Paul, tell people where they can find you.
I'm mostly going to be on TikTok, and you can find me at Wiseacre Design. And Wiseacre doesn't mean I am full of acres of wisdom. It means I'm a smartass. So you can expect that kind of content.
I love it. I love it. Thanks so much, folks. We really appreciate you guys are our favorite viewers. You're fantastic. We hope you appreciated Paul coming on and watching us all this time. Like with our show, we don't have a plan. We have concepts of a plan, and we seem to do it pretty well, I think. So we really appreciate it. We'll catch you guys later. All right. So